going to show you how to put together these Jello and pudding Hope cups, perfect for an Avenger or a superhero party. So stay tuned and I'll show you how. Here are the things that I used: Oreo cookies, and I just used the cookie part for the crumbs, grape Jello, vanilla pudding, purple and green food coloring, the liquid form, a black Sharpie, and 10-ounce cups. If you can find 8-ounce cups that are a bit tall like that, use those. That'll be better. Alright guys, let's get started. Alright guys, to get started, I'm going to make this facial expression with my Sharpie. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but once it gets filled in with everything, it's going to come together. Now I am using this 10-ounce cup, and it's kind of elongated. If you can't find any of these, you can go ahead and use these solo 8-ounce cups. They're a little shorter and they're very, very round. But what I like is that it gives you a nicer presentation, especially because it's nice and slim and tall. I'm going to put the little face here in the center, not up too high, or else you're going to have to fill in a lot of the space with the pudding in order to keep that face in the center of that pudding. So I'm going to put just a little bit of the Jello at the bottom, just to give it the look of the shorts, that purple shorts, and then just about this much for the pudding, and then just a little bit here for the hair. So with the Oreo, so I have a lot of empty space at the top, which I think is more than enough, since usually at parties there's so much to eat. You don't really need to put so much in it. So I'm gonna look and see. This is about how much I'm gonna put for Jello, maybe just a little bit more, and this about this area for the pudding. So right around here, which is almost center of the cup, I'm just gonna make 2 lines. 2 slanted eyes, not eyes, but eyebrows. 2 slanted ones, just like that. I made one thicker than the other. Even that out. And then I'm going to put 2 eyes right underneath, just like that. And then 1 line for the mouth at the bottom. Not all of them may come out exactly the same, but that's fine. If you make some a little bit smaller than the others, just make sure that when you fill it with your pudding, the face is completely covered from bottom to top, so you'll have that face roughly in the middle of that green pudding. So I'm gonna do the rest of them that I need to do, and then I'm gonna get started with my Jello. Alright guys, according to the package, you have to put 1 cup of boiling water and 1 cup of cold water. What you're gonna need to do here, if you're wanting this purple to be a little bit darker, which I want, you're going to have to add the drops in the liquid form of that purple into this part, which is the boiling water part, and it will turn nice and dark, and that's just so you can see it much nicer when it cools and firms. So because if you don't do it, it's going to be a very pale, almost transparent, very pale purple. So I really like how that's really nice. It's really nice purple. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my cold water. So that gave me a lot more now. So I'm going to have to fill in my cups now. And I'm going to use like a little ladle to do that. I'm just making sure that all the sugar has dissolved over the mix. I think that's good. Alright, so now just go ahead and fill your little cups in, and just make sure that you don't go too close to that face, which the very bottom part would be the mouth, that 1 line. Make sure that you don't go extremely close to it, because you have to have enough room for that green, because he is, you know, his face is green, and you don't want any of this purple to be so up close to his mouth. I'm gonna stick them in the refrigerator, and it says here for 4 hours. It is evening right now, so I'm just gonna leave them overnight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go ahead and do the pudding. They should be extremely firm, and I'm gonna do the pudding mix and stick that into the second part, stick that in the fridge according to the time in the package, and then I can move on to my Oreos. Okay guys, I'm moving on to the next step. I am mixing up my pudding mix, and I am going to follow the instructions, which is 3 cups of cold water, and put it in with the mix, and then mix it up with a whisk. And I'm going to be adding some green food coloring to that, to the milk. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in my 3 cups of milk first. You would normally put your powder in first and then your milk, but I need to whisk in my green. I'm going to do a few drops first and see how that looks. If it's too pastel, I'm going to add a little bit more. Alright, you decide how green you want that to look. So I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to add too much color to that. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my mix in. And this is the 5.1 ounce box, the larger one. There's usually a small one and a large one. I picked up the large one for this. And then I'm going to stick this in the fridge, and it says here for about 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the fridge and let it firm. Make sure that you got all the powder dissolved. And then once it firms, I'm going to put it into a disposable piping bag. This is a very large one. I don't know if it's like 18 or 20 inches. It's pretty large, and I put it on a cup so I can fill it in, and then I'm going to tie it up. It's just easier that way. If you don't have large piping bags like that, you can just use a Ziploc, like a 1 gallon bag. But I find it a lot easier since this one has a nice point at the bottom. So nice and green, looks nice and hokey green. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the fridge, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, so I took my green vanilla pudding out of the fridge, and it's nice and firm. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir just so I can loosen it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick it into my piping bag. Oh, this is so green. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the little tip off of it, and I'll be able to fill my cups in really easily. Alright guys, so I went ahead and cut the corner off my bag. So now I'm just going to fill this in. I'm going to tap that in a little bit. So this is the reason why I didn't want to get large cups, because you have to fill so much of it up. So I'm going to take a look at it, tap it so I can get smooth. So I want to make sure I fill in. I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of noise. I want to make sure I fill in those gaps. There's a little bit of a gap there at the bottom. I'll just smooth that out in a little bit. So as you see there, I want that pudding to go all the way to the top above the eyes, and then I'll fill that up with the Oreos for the hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill the rest of them up, and I'll fix them up in a little bit if they need to, if they have a few gaps or something, or if I have to fill them up more, because I do need them to go up above the eyebrow part. So I'm going to continue on filling up the rest, and then I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so I took off the inside filling from the Oreos, and I put them in a little plastic bag, and then just smash them like that. Don't crumble them up too much. You want to have a little bit of density in them. If you have a food processor, you can do that as well. Just don't turn them into dust. So that'll be good. Now, if you're making these for parties, you will have to buy the big package of Oreos and then peel them off and all that, because this might not be enough. I just got a little package just for the video. So hopefully this will be enough for the cups that I have. If not, I'll just make some more. I have another packet. So let's move on to that step. Alright guys, so I've been filling up some cups already, and all you have to do is just sprinkle it on top like this Make sure that you put a lot of it in the front part because that's where the base is. So just make sure that you fill that up, just like that. And then I have the larger one. See, this one, since it has a larger top, it's going to need a little bit more coverage. So if you can get a hold of these, that would be perfect. That way you don't have to waste so much product. Alright, I'm going to finish up the rest, but that's basically it. And I'll put them all together. Alright guys, that is it. So I hope you like how that turned out. Pretty easy. It takes a few steps and a few hours of preparation, but I think these will be great for your Avenger themed party. You can make these 24 hours in advance. The only thing I do suggest is not adding the Oreo crumbs until you're about to serve them. That way they don't become soggy with the humidity in the fridge. Also, do not leave these out at room temperature, especially because the pudding has milk in it and you want to keep that refrigerated. The Jello can hold on for a little longer, but I am concerned about that pudding that has that milk in it. So especially during summer months, you want to keep these in the fridge until you're about to serve them to your guests, and then just take them out and add your Oreo crumbs on top, and you can go ahead and serve them. That way they'll be nice and chilled and they'll be safe to eat. Alright guys, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Give these a try, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching guys, and have a good one.